Doo-doo-doo. Hello, my name is Lester Rant, and I'm here with Nigel Impey from the UK. How are you doing, Nigel?
I'm good, thanks, Les. You?
I'm doing fabulous, actually. And I wanted to invite you on here today because that I know that we've talked about communication with the UAP entities, and
Yep.
and I wanted you to kind of tell me a little bit more, and maybe even a little bit more in depth about what we as a society need to do to be able to do that.
Okay. Just a bit of background from myself. Basically,
And I
I
apologize
start.
for not introducing you better. Yeah, and I apologize. I wanted to be able to do. I should have probably done that. Introduce you. That you are a good reptilian, and you said
Yep,
that you
that's
are
correct.
a Karr. Did you say
Karr. Yeah,
uh,
that's my name.
Karr the positive?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. And so you're a positive reptilian, and basically that I wanted you to tell us a little bit more about that, but I didn't necessarily want to get more into that. But basically, what we wanted to do would be just simple communication without trying to tell everybody about the Galactic Federation and all these other things. Let's
uh
talk about grassroots. What's going to be the best way to communicate? And then yeah, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself. Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I was placed into a human body at uh, my Earth mother. Um, I found this out back in 2014 when I had my first sighting. Um, After my first sighting, which was basically a ball of white bright light, that basically I was watching from my backyard, and I thought it's too low and bright to be a star. It's not even blinking, no sound. It wasn't a plane. And as I continued watching, it started moving towards me. At first, it was stationary,
Right.
and and basically I watched as it got closer, 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 and then it went right over my head. I turned round to watch it as it disappeared up the gardens, which were on a hillside, and then it disappeared behind a big tree in somebody's backyard, and that was it. I didn't see it again. But then after that, it raised questions. I didn't know what the heck it was. I got on Facebook to, you know, try and find answers and everything, um, and get in touch with other people that were in the same sort of situation with sightings and that.
Right. How did
Um,
that go at first when you first started doing that? How did that go?
at first, it was, pretty sort of like scary to start with. You know, I didn't know who to turn to, who to trust, whatever. Um, but then after a while, I got to build up quite a few friends, and people that were giving me advice and everything. Um, so yeah, it went okay. Apart from some, when I told people about my sightings, they were like, "Oh, it's this, it's that." Anyway, the usual. Um, but
I've been
then, sort of about a week later, um, well, say a week, maybe a few days later, a week later, whatever. Um, I sort of like my partner went to sleep upstairs. I fell asleep on the couch after watching some TV, and all of a sudden, I felt that I wasn't basically in my home.
right.
Um, I could make out like I was in a darkened room with like subdued lighting, sort of like a more of a glow than light, really. But I could make out in front of me was a grey. I don't know whether it was one of the small ones or whether the tall ones. I don't know, but anyway, there was nothing sort of like communicating with the grey. It was just like sitting there. I was sitting on one side, he was sitting on the other. And then all of a sudden, I didn't even see him enter, whether he teleported through into this room or I don't know, but all of a sudden from behind the grey was this 8, maybe 9 foot tall reptilian, big, thick, like a sort of almost like a humanoid face, but not quite. Thick, muscular body, thick legs, clawed feet, clawed hands, with and he was holding something in one of the hands. I couldn't make out what, and had a 3 to 4 foot long tail.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, he walked from behind the grey and turned to look at me, and I felt like I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel anything like that. Basically, I had like a thought placed in my message, like basically telepathically into my head, basically like telling me not to be afraid, that he wasn't going to harm me, and that further communication would follow. And also, I felt like there was a warm, positive energy being put through me, like a warm glow going through the whole of my body from head to foot.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then basically he raised a clawed hand, like to greet, to say basically goodbye, turned round and walked off and basically vanished, not even went through a door, a wall or anything, just gone.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And then I basically came to on my couch, like bolt upright, like thinking to my, sorry, I don't want to use expletives, but it was like basically, what the was that?
Right. Sure.
That wasn't a dream.
Right. No, that wasn't a dream. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard accounts like that before. And so, yeah, definitely. Now when you went up there, did you seem to go through a tunnel in any way?
I didn't even recall how I got there. It was just like 1 minute I'm dozing off on my couch. The next minute, bang, I'm in this room.
Okay. Now, how did you find out that you were a positive reptilian? How did you know that you were? I think you had told me this before, but tell the viewers about this.
Basically, I found out this through telepathic communication. I was told in sort of like parts, basically, that I was placed in human form into my mother.
Okay.
And that basically I'm here for an important mission, basically to try and awaken humanity to the fact that we exist, that we are not like the Alpha Dracos, or some may call the Cabal, the blood-sucking monsters, whatever they like to call them, which I totally agree with. They are. They're one of them actually killed my brother because he wouldn't join them in a crime. And sorry, I get a bit emotional talking about that.
It's okay. You can tell us whatever you like. Don't hold back. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah. Anyhow, so yeah. Anyway, basically, I was told that I was actually an ambassador for Earth relations.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, as I say, I was here to try and awaken humanity to our presence, that we are not evil, and that basically to try and tell people that their governments, their royalty, their military, religion are all underpinned by these beings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to try and, promote get people back to a better way of living, where with regards to eating homegrown healthy food,
Right. Right.
this shop brought stuff is loaded with chemicals, genetically modified by a company called Monsanto,
Oh, right. Yep.
which is owned by one of the wealthiest families in the world, the Rothschilds.
Yep.
Um,
Wow.
and yeah, basically, um,
And I think me and Claudette talked about that. Claudette's my wife. Me and Claudette talked about Monsanto too,
yeah.
because they have a lot of chemicals up where she's from, up in Idaho.
Well, I have a friend called Brian Singh. If you're out there, Brian, hi. He was telling me about a friend that went to a supermarket or whatever, and there is being sold magnetized meat that is magnetic.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
That basically, I mean, you think about it, the amount of chemical leak off from industry, from manufacturing, from food waste. I mean, I years ago, I actually worked in a refuge business.
Mm-hmm.
I went out with one of the drivers one day to a waste transfer station, like a waste landfill site, basically.
Yep.
And, this is just like a mountain of rubbish that they just basically compress into the ground with these huge, like a road roller, but it's got instead of just a cylindrical drum, it's got like teeth on,
Yes.
and it just compacts everything down into the ground. Okay, yeah, they're doing their bit because they recover gas that is produced, methane.
Mm-hmm.
And they turn that into electrical energy. That is one good thing about it. But
Right.
on the other hand, all the chemicals and everything from the food waste, the packaging, plastics, metal, whatever, that was all going down into the ground, into the water table.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, and that's scary, and that causes a lot of cancer clusters as well. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
and it's just making it worse. And one thing that I've always kind of wanted to do and to try to promote is city city gardens, city ranches, city places to raise your own meat, places to raise your own vegetables. You
Well,
know,
funny you should say that actually, because there's a friend I was talking to who is also a friend of Brian's. He actually did that. He made a city farm.
oh, nice, yeah,
Yeah, until the local authorities basically told him to get everything out. They wanted him to kill his animals.
yeah,
He had cows, he had ducks, he had chickens, he had all sorts. And yeah, basically he was distraught, man.
And you know, you could do this, is that if you crowdsourced enough resources, that you could get people in jails, people who you know, need to do family or do community service, to work in the farms, and also to help, you know, raise the animals, and you know, and just stuff like that too, to where it's always rotating, to where people can always do this to help raise food and vegetables for people, just like they did before. And you know, if they
Exactly. I mean, my grandmother, when I was young, she was always cooking. She was always baking. She was an elderly lady. She had her own garden with. She grew all her own fruit and vegetables. Basically, she was raised during wartime, World War II,
yeah,
and yeah, literally across the road from where her house was used to be a farm,
right,
and they used to have a cart outside with the old metal milk churns and a ladle, and you used to go and fill your own jugs up with fresh milk, not even pasteurized, straight out of the cow.
right, there you go, yeah. And you know, Claudette is down, she's just down the hill, and she's helping to raise chickens down
Mm,
there for the family that she watches.
hmm
And yeah, so they, you know, they get chicken, they've got chickens, they've got eggs, they don't have to worry about cooking any eggs, they just go out and they just get them.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you have a freshly laid egg and you cook it, and then you taste an egg from a supermarket or a convenience store or whatever, and there's no match.
Right. So let's talk about now, about communication,
Yep.
with what now. Uh, I'm trying to come up with terminology, because terminology is a big thing these days. So is entity a good word, or being a better word? What's the best word to say? Well, because just other beings out there, or other entities, or
Well, entity covers more of a wide range, really. I mean,
right?
so I'd say entity because I mean,
That's
you've
That's what I
got
was leaning to. I was leaning to
yeah,
that, you know,
yeah,
because of the paranormal that we work with as well, and
exactly, yeah,
things outside that we don't know what they
mm,
are, you know.
exactly, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm
I
gonna
mean,
be
it's like it's like people use the term extraterrestrial. I mean, that could mean I mean, you could call anything extraterrestrial.
yeah, right.
I
And it
mean, it's like they call UFO, UAP, whatever. I prefer to call it a craft rather than anything else. I call it an unidentified craft.
okay. I like that. I'm gonna take that as a note. So now now I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions before we go into communication, because I wanted to not forget about this. Um, have you heard anything about quantum physics or quantum mechanics or anything like that?
I oh, excuse me. Um, Basically, I have I know of it. I'm not very clued up on the technical side of quantum physics and quantum mechanics.
Right.
Myself, I'm more into sort of like technology. I'm more into the craft themselves.
I see.
Um,
All right.
I'm more sort of like on an engineering background where it's sort of like more hands-on stuff and
Okay. All right.
systems and
Okay. So then, what type of propulsion do they use, or do they use all the same types? I'm sure they use different types. Um,
yeah. I mean, the ones I know use it's they have anti-gravity and electromagnetic drive system.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've heard of something like that too, and that totally makes sense because um, with the magnetism, it totally makes sense. I heard that too. What was that? That was really strange.
Yeah.
I like
Um,
I like when that happens because that's happened now twice with us. So
yeah. I mean, speaking of which, that could be one of them checking up on me anyway.
well, that's okay. They can, yeah, just tell them that they can check up on me too, because I want to now. Let's go into the communication now.
Did you hear
Um,
that? It suddenly went high again. It's vanished now. But saying about that, I've also heard um, instead of because they use electromagnetic drive,
mhm,
you hear instead of hearing jet engines or anything like that, you hear. I don't know if anyone else out there has heard it. Instead of hearing that, you hear like an electrical transformer type hum.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard something that just doesn't sound exactly right. And I was playing back the triangle that I saw, and it didn't sound right either. And that's kind of a different thing because I want to still focus on this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna kind of play a little background music, and then I want you to kind of tell us what's the best way what's the best way to communicate with the entities. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, you need to find a space, a peaceful space, whether you're in a city, a town, a small village. Sit wherever you feel peaceful and deep breathe, close your eyes, focus on trying to block out any extraneous sounds, traffic, whatever may be around, cats, dogs barking, whatever. Just take deep, slow breaths. Focus onto the middle of your head, your third eye chakra, and focus on projecting what message you want to convey to the entities above you.
Hmm. And what about introducing yourselves?
Um, how do you mean introducing themselves?
Just say, my name is Les. I would like to meet.
Yeah. Basically, just introduce yourself. Tell them basically that you're aware of them, you're accepting of them, you're not scared of them, and you welcome them.
Wow. I'm not scared of you. I would like to meet you. I know you're out there. I've seen you before. Thank you for showing yourself to me. We're here to let people know that you're here, and that's why we do this. We thank you for watching over us, and we invite you to come introduce yourselves to us.
Namaste.
Yeah. Angela is with us. Angela Ellison. She just said, "Be able to maintain a calm, fearless demeanor. Your contact experiences will expand." Amen to that. That's right.
Correct.
Yeah, and I've noticed that the more that I've done this, that the more UFOs we've seen, UAP craft we've seen.
Indeed.
You know,
Indeed.
me and Claudette have seen at least 3 just recently. I saw 2 at work. I go into work at 5 in the morning. I've seen 2 of them fly over, and they look like little golf balls just moving across just like that. And then I have recorded them as well, and it's incredible that it works, and it's a true thing. What type of questions should people ask?
Basically, ask whatever you feel. You know, if a friend or family member is ill, ask for healing energy. You know, if you're struggling with finances, whatever, you know, ask them to guide you to help. If you're homeless, seek, you know, somebody to help you with that. You know, basically, and it does work. You know, advice comes along, help comes along. I mean, my good friend and brother Brian Singh, for example, I don't work anymore. I used to drive buses and tour buses, and through health reasons, I had to give it up because they're very strict on health for driving a big vehicle. So basically, I'm on like disability payments, and all mine and my partner's payments got messed up because we took out what they call an IVA to clear some debts, but they messed up our bank, and so basically our benefit payments weren't getting paid in because the bank they froze the bank account. So we were basically without any money for like over a month, and basically, you know, I don't like to ask for help, but I was guided to put a post on Facebook, and yourselves kindly helped. Brian Singh kindly helped, and 1 or 2 others kindly helped.
Right.
And you know, it meant so much to me. I mean, I know you and Claudette couldn't do, you know, much, but everything helped. You
Good.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is that, you know, you gave it out of goodness of heart, that you didn't expect it in return.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for
You're thankful. You're
I
thankful.
was,
You're welcome. You're welcome.
you know, it meant so much during that tough month.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
People that, you know, and it meant so much to know that there are decent human beings out there. You know, I mean, be they very few and far between, unfortunately. You know, if only we can get the message out there for people to care and show compassion more, to be helpful to people without expecting anything in return. To, you know, I mean, my vision that I've had, that they've shown me of the future, is like a beautiful future where people are united, that people are happy, people are self-sufficient.
Yeah.
They grow their own fruit, they grow their own vegetables, they raise their own livestock, they have their own water, clean, pure water.
Yeah. That's what we have.
Um,
We have that here in
yeah,
Georgia.
exactly. I know you have your own well.
Yeah, we have our own well. We have natural gas nearby that that they can bring to us, of course. But we have a lot of different land. We have deer up here, and there's all different kinds. There's people up here who can live completely self sufficient without.
Yeah,
They don't need the gas. They can burn the trees. Um,
exactly. Log burners that heat the water.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we understand that not everybody can do this. We understand that. That's we can understand that. But it doesn't have to be so expensive to not build something somewhere in some town or even not far away. Yeah, awesome. Angela just said that here we go. Successfully finding primary water in Arizona. Right? Yeah. Um, yeah, the thing is that we can look and do the things that get the things that we need. I saw it was on TV today. I saw where it was in the Mojave Desert. They were bringing in ocean water and they were growing all kinds of vegetables for y'all for over
mm.
UK. Yeah.
I mean, because the thing is, ocean water can actually be purified.
Yes, that's what they were doing. They were desalinating it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, basically that's what cruise liners, military ships, cargo vessels,
right.
they all use the ocean water,
Yeah,
and they put it through a plant inside the ship, which turns it into pure water.
yeah, yep. I mean that. See, so we have more water than we can drink. We have more
Yeah.
water than we can drink than we can use,
Well,
and it's always the same water, really. I mean, but yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, right now in England it's raining, so
so you don't have anything to worry about, and yeah, and we get about 80 inches of rain here. So
I mean, even where I am right now, we're actually growing our. Even though we don't have any land, we our outdoors is like block paved, but we actually have a edge of the garden, which we're growing tomatoes, we're growing beans, we're growing cucumber.
yeah, yeah, and
We've
it's
we've already had a crop of beans, not very big, but the beans.
Oh, and okay. So I went down to the local dollar store and I got a little packet of microgreens, and I just put them in this little packet in this little grower, and they're already growing. I'll let you talk for a minute. I'm gonna go get them so I can show you how easy it is.
Okay, cool.
Everybody, just kind of tell everybody just, about yourself. Hold on.
Sorry, I've got to clean my phone screen again. The raindrops are falling. So I don't know whether Angela's still there.
All right. Sorry about that, Nigel. I'm back. Here we go.
So is Angela still there?
I think so. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
So here are my microgreens. I think
Oh, cool. Yeah.
we paid $2 for a little packet.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had microgreens?
Um, I've not tried them. No.
Okay, so what microgreens are? They're little. They're like little type. They're different types of. Oh yeah, Angela's here. They're different types of. We'll just say carrot and pepper and all these different kinds of different things.
Uh-huh.
But when you eat them when they're small, they have a different flavor profile.
All right.
So yeah. No, there you go. Angela said she likes broccoli and sunflowers. Angela, you need to join us.
Yeah, join us.
Yeah. But I've tried some different ones. Some of them are spicy. They have what's known as a mild mix.
Uh-huh.
And this is something that really anybody could grow in their house.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna
I mean,
look. Let's see.
I remember back when I was a young kid, and you know, you could go into the local news agents, you could go into a hardware store, you could go anywhere, and they had a rack there with all the different seeds,
Mm-hmm.
plants, fruit, vegetables, and you could just go and pay a few pence and pick up a bag of seeds. I mean, we my mum didn't have a big garden, but we had a little corner of the garden that was set aside for fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, yeah,
We had
and
we had an
let's see.
apple tree, we had a plum tree.
Yeah, there.
We grew potatoes,
Oh yeah.
carrots.
There we go. Oh, there's yeah, there's so many possibilities too, and there's so much money that you can save whenever you're doing them. I was just trying to look to see just kind of offhand which ones were which, but I'm sure that there's there's all kinds of information you can always find online too.
Well, we get every week on a Friday we get a package, a bag from a local church.
Oh,
Um,
okay, right, yeah, that's another
we get
thing.
we get a bag of food every week. We don't have to pay anything. We're not expected to donate anything.
Right.
They just come and give it out of the goodness of heart. We get tin food. We get bread. We get vegetables. Um, this week we got 2 packs of cherry tomatoes still on the vine.
Yep.
Yep.
That those are good too. Yeah,
Mm.
Angela said I've been tossing everything in my tree line. Hopefully, my end of the world garden will arrive. Yeah, and you know what we do? We throw our food out, and the crows get it,
Yeah,
and they're
you can.
huge.
Yeah, I mean, you can also use food waste. My grandmother, she used to you have a compost heap. She'd put food waste like potato peelings, carrot peelings, um, anything that's biodegradable, like leaves. She'd
Hmm.
throw onto this compost heap, and you let it break down, and it became fertilizer for the soil.
There you go. Everything in this world just is all for each other. You know, it all kind of goes around, and there's got to be uses for everything. And the food, the fresh food is so much better. Oh my gosh. Um, we we have even gone to an Amish market in Tennessee and gotten food like I've never seen before. I've seen like white bell peppers, purple
What
bell peppers.
white peppers?
Yeah, white bell peppers and purple bell peppers. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah. Let me see
I,
if I can.
I I didn't know such a thing existed.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Exactly. Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's why. Let me bell pepper Pepper. And they even have. Here we go. So they even have. Uh, they have heirloom, what they call heirloom ones as well. Heirloom like tomatoes. Those are the ones that are like the original ones, you know. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. She said bell peppers are coming up. All right, let me show you this here. Let me share my screen. All right, and let's do that, and then do that. All right. See how these right here? These
Oh
are
wow, yeah,
yeah, white bell peppers. They actually look kind of yellow, but and then I'm going to show these purple ones too. Purple bell peppers. All right, look at those.
wow.
Ain't that crazy?
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there are so many different options out there, and all you have to do is just get off your butt and go down and get it. You know,
Yeah.
that's really all you got to do. You just got to go down, get off your butt and just go out to the stores and see what you can find. You
Mm.
know,
You
um,
know, I also wanted to say that with regards to energy,
Yes.
Now this is an idea that I thought of. I don't know whether it's already been patented or whatever, but my idea was this would be my ideal, basically my ideal home. I would love to have my own cabin like you've got,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and I would have a building attached to it, or maybe adjacent to it,
Right.
where I would have a log burning boiler,
Right.
which would create high pressure steam.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I would use that to power my own turbine and create my own electricity.
There you go. That would be awesome. That'd be great.
And also, as an extra, I would have pipe work attached to that as well, using the high pressure, hot steam to heat the house,
Yep.
to create hot water.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And the way that we do ours here is we have an electric constant water system, so it's always hot. It's immediately hot, so it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't waste as it's going through. It's always hot.
Yeah, it's
And,
like you can get these. I don't know if you heard of it out there. It's called Cooker, Quoker or something.
okay.
Um, Basically, it's a tap or a faucet, as guys call it out there.
Okay.
But this is, it can do instant boiling or hot water. It can do cold water, chilled water. It
Wow.
can even make sparkling water.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great.
Um,
Well, Nigel, hey, it's been good talking to you. Do you have any, we'll just say, words for before we go off the air, um, for the population, for the world, just what do we need to do better?
yeah, basically, as I've said, be kind, be caring, be compassionate, help others without expecting help in return. Um, Basically, be peaceful, be loving, and be light.
There you go. Amen. Amen to that. Now I've got a question for you. How does God play in all of this?
Well, to be honest, God isn't like they portray in religion. God isn't a human being. God isn't, Jesus isn't a human being. We were created by the beings, entities above us.
Right. And there's some we don't even understand.
Exactly.
Right, right. And that's why um myself, I believe in a God. I also believe in Jesus. That the reason and that is just because of the power of prayer. So I know that there's a higher being. Now some people will say Allah, some people will say God, some people say whichever.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, people think that he comes in our image.
right, exactly. Right. Yeah.
But and our image was basically created by, yeah, the God which is above us, not as in he didn't walk on the earth and then became a God. You know, he was already there.
Right. He was already a God. Yeah. And it says, even in the Bible, in the beginning, God created
Exactly.
the heavens, not the heaven. the
Yeah.
heavens with a plural,
Yeah.
and the earth, right? So, yeah, and religion, that's a whole, yeah, our image, plural, right? Exactly.
I
Um,
mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not really for say. I mean, I was actually raised in a Salvation Army background.
mhm.
My
Yes,
from
yes, Derek,
I
there is.
was I was baptized into Salvation Army. My mum, my dad, my sisters, we all used to go to the Salvation Army on a Sunday. My uncles, my aunts, they were all in there as well. My one of my uncles, he played the piano in the Salvation Army. One of my uncles, he played in the band. Um, yeah, so basically, we were a Salvation Army family. Um, but the thing is, a lot of what the thing is about religion that you know I don't really agree with is, they say like in the Bible not to do this, not to do that, but then you get cases of I remember reading years ago there was Salvation Army officer in sex scandal or whatever, and they're the ones that are teaching people, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that.
Right, right. And that part I understand. I didn't really kind of want to go into,
Oh no, no, no,
but yeah,
it's like
yeah, and the thing is that, sometimes it's not it's not the religion itself, it's the people who run it.
exactly.
It's kind of like with another organization we've been talking about recently that I didn't mention today. It's the people who run it, it's that causes the problems. And you know or earlier, I saw that, I'd seen Derek said something to the about three heavens. And I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we believe that
Oh,
there is a terrestrial kingdom, a telestial kingdom, and a celestial kingdom. Celestial, of course, is where, God, Jesus, Mother Mary, everybody hangs out up there, and they're looking down, talking to those kids in Brazil or wherever, the Fatima, and saying, "Hey, y'all come on up here, but y'all got to watch out first, because if you tear up this place, then it's not going to be good." I mean,
mm.
that's, that's that's kind of my take on it. I just kind of just lay it out that way, but
Yeah, yeah.
and then whenever you talk about, and Angela's talking about hierarchies. Yes, another word for hierarchy could be a dimension. Ooh, multiple dimensions. What do you think about multiple dimensions there?
What do I think about multiple dimensions? Yeah, I
Yes.
totally, I
Yeah.
totally, totally.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
I mean, you know, say for example, you know, you get a piece of paper, you fold it in half, okay?
Yep. Yep.
You take a pencil and you pierce a hole through the middle of that paper.
Yep.
You open it up and you've got a portal into other dimensions.
Right. That's exactly right. Yep. Yep. And
And that's they, people say in the UFO community in groups and that, you know, if and they say like scientists say, well, if they are out there, it would take them a heck of a long time to get from where they are to where we are.
not if
No, it
there's
wouldn't.
not if there's a wrinkle, and not if there's a hole in it. They just got to know where the hole is. See, we
Yeah.
don't know where the hole is, right? We don't know where the hole
Well,
is.
I mean, you know, I wanted to say this as well. Is like people watch TV shows, films like, for example, Star Trek, Thunderbirds, blah, 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 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they show technology and travel and, what people don't tend, and Close Encounters as well, for example.
Mm-hmm.
What people don't realize is, they say it's science fiction,
but it's right. Yes.
I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
look at if you go back to, I don't know, I guess it was the 80s,
Right.
when cell phones were, some cell phones used to be the size of a brick,
Yeah.
but they had cell phones that basically opened like, the communicator on Star Trek, where they flipped that little, and it made that squealing noise, and
Yeah.
cooling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I actually owned a Motorola phone that was just like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That and we think that even in back in the 40s and 50s, uh, um,
Well,
uh,
do you,
Eisenhower.
yeah, do you
It,
know actually of Earth's technology? All of Earth's technology actually started with military.
yeah.
Even the internet,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
because basically before it was the internet, it was DARPANET,
Yeah.
which is the Defense Advanced Research. What was it now? Defense Advanced Project Research. Uh,
DARPA.
yeah,
Yeah. DARPA. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah.
DARPA. Yeah. That. Um, yeah. DARPA was part of it, and even before that too. Um, and my friend Kat, I invited her here. She's here. I spoke with her yesterday, and it was we had a really good conversation. Yeah, the military has said what is produced in movies. Yeah, looks like exactly. I've had people tell me about movies that um, are people said, "Hey, this is the movie to watch if you want to see how it really is." Like, okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, wow. Okay, LifeLog, which became Facebook. Oh, wow. Okay, that's very interesting. Um, I'm gonna ask Kat on the. Actually, I want to ask her if she wants to join, but I asked her earlier, but I think it'd be great to see.
Hmm.
Let me do this if she wants to like to join, and if not, I understand because it's kind of a. I told her I said this was kind of a off the cuff conversation that I just wanted to have today, just kind of a weekend thing
Hmm.
with the with all of that going on. But with the hearing that went on and everything, and that we talked about, and even and me and Reverend Cat talked about yesterday about on the podcast was that okay, we now that we know that that the UAPs are out there, the craft are out there, now it's time to make contact, and there has to be a way to make contact. Now we're not going to say that they don't understand our language because we know they do. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that part is really not. That's kind of a moot point. Now, do you have any recommendations for something to expand on that, or whatever we talk about, they're going to understand anyway,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
regardless.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to, since we know how to talk, then we need to learn how to act.
I mean, basically, with communication, as I say, they can they know what we're thinking before we've even thought it.
Right. Right. And that's probably how they travel as well.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, if I think I want to go, wherever I want to go, just boom, I'm already there. I'm like, well, do I really want to go? No, I can come back. It's just like, okay. I can say, hey, is
Hey,
it raining?
I'm just gonna go inside the house because the rain's coming down worse now.
Yeah, Angela said they're listening to us right now. Yeah, exactly. And
Exactly.
so they already know. And we were talking about this earlier. As far as all you have to do, let me see. Actually, Kathleen, Kat, I'm actually on in StreamYard. If you want to join during StreamYard, and if anybody wants to join StreamYard, you can right now. Actually, let me bring this up. I'm going to post this just in this link in here. There you go. Alrighty, that should work. And if that doesn't work, just let me know. And let me come over here and I'll just put in there. There we go. And paste. There we go. Alrighty. There we go. That should work too. Okay. And I think Kat may just join us. We'll just have to see. That would be kind of awesome. And I want to tell you too that I really appreciate your. Go ahead.
Can you just give me a second? Hang on a second.
Yeah, go ahead. That'd be fine. And let me see if I could do that. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna kind of step out for a minute too, which is fine. I want to thank everybody. Hey, James, I'd like to welcome James too from Tooele, Utah. And here we go. Alrighty, and it looks like Kat's going to join us too. And James, if you want to join, whoever wants to join, by all means. We're just having kind of a good conversation here, and just there you go. We're talking about communication, and
well, I'm back.
All right, there you go. All right, cool. And we're just kind of waiting for people to join, and also, you were telling me about empathy. Empathy is one of my favorite words because I worked in a call center one time, and I had to teach empathy, and it's kind of hard to teach empathy. But for somebody who doesn't know what it's like, you have to give them an idea. So I worked for a cable company, and the cable company also had cell phones, and if somebody would call in and say, my phone's not working or my TV's not working, and the rep said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." Well, the next thing out of the customer's mouth is going to be, "Yeah, you are sorry." Definitely.
What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it, right? So you know what I say? I say, empathy. Man, that's not good. I hate when that happens to me.
I mean, I've had to deal with a lot of call centers recently because of the mess up with my benefit system and everything, which basically has put us into problems with missed payments on bills and utilities and stuff.
Yeah.
I've had to get in touch with people like my internet and TV provider, Sir Richard Branson's company.
Right. Yeah.
I've had to deal with the water utility, the electric utility, the gas, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, my biggest bugbear is with a company like Virgin Media, which is Richard Branson, a British entrepreneur that basically owns most of a lot of companies around the UK and in the States and everywhere else. Anyway, his media company,
right?
Basically, all his call centers are in India.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Along with many, many others. And when you try and get through to these people, to get them to understand what you're talking about, for one, is a big hurdle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ghosty's gone running off.
All right. Do you need to go get him?
No, he'll be okay.
Okay.
He'll be back soon because he doesn't like being out in the rain too much.
Okay. All right. And let me see. Hold on just a sec here.
Hey, Les, can you hear me?
Yes, I sure can. How are you?
Oh, good. Yeah, I don't have a camera today. I'm sorry. It was too close to
That's
breakfast.
okay.
And, so good morning, both of you.
Yes. Good morning.
Well,
And
good evening from me.
and yes, and thank you, Reverend Kat. And Kat, tell us just a little bit about yourself, and so Nigel can we can introduce you to him and to the rest of the people that are on the stream.
Okay, well, let's see if I can keep it short. I've been into metaphysics and the paranormal for a very long time and had some very interesting experiences. And it led me to the website Prepare for Change. So now I'm in the council there, and we had this great conversation yesterday, but we had only decided to do it Thursday and blasted out as many invitations as I could. And I was really pleased that Les was able to join us. So now hopefully we'll have a chance to talk with people like you. But it must be very late for you in what, Australia?
No, he's actually in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's really late.
It's early evening. It's like 6:25.
Okay.
And
there's my kitty cat.
That's Ghosty. So, Kat, did you get to hear him talking about how to communicate with the other entities?
But I came in probably a little late for that.
Okay. All right. So Nigel is what they call as a Karr.
No, that's my actual name.
Oh, okay. Karr the positive is his actual name, but he's a positive.
Well, just Karr.
Oh, just Karr. Okay, Karr. Okay. Okay. And so he was talking about telepathy, and also about it, what we talked about yesterday about getting your thoughts out there and keeping positive thoughts and just keeping the day-to-day out of your thoughts. And what do you think about that? Because that sounds about what we talked about, right?
Well, yeah, you have to, because the day-to-day stuff is that 3D mundane world. You don't want to be distracted. So people say, well, you need to meditate. And for some, that implies making your mind go blank. That's nearly impossible. What I find works for me is thinking about anything that makes me feel joy, love, gratitude. And once you've put those pictures in your mind, you can start feeling it literally in your chest, like a warm feeling.
Mm.
When you practice that enough, you don't need the imagery anymore. You just think, thank you, something like that. And you're automatically there. So then what do you do? You set your intention. Right, Nigel? That's when you open yourself up for contact.
Yeah.
Wow. And what Definitely. For some, let's say for somebody who's had kind of a harsh life and who has a hard time thinking positive, is there a way do you think that there's a way to turn them around?
Absolutely. I mean, just because you've had an experience, that doesn't define who you are as a person.
Right.
So you need to look for positive things, anything in your life that makes you feel gratitude. And if it's a TV show, if it's a scene in nature, that's something important too. Go ahead, Nigel.
I mean, myself, I've had a really hard life. I grew up from the age of 5. I was bullied at junior school. Yeah, I was called Joe 90 or Brains Out of Thunderbirds because I was short. I wore those black thick plastic glasses with thick lenses. I got called some cruel things by the kids when I was young. And I thought when I went up to high school, things had changed, but no, it just got worse. It got to the stage where I was scared to go to school on a Monday. I used to pretend that I was ill on a Sunday so I didn't have to go to school. My mum and dad split up when I was still at school. I came home from school one day and my mum wasn't there, and I was like, "Where's mum?" And basically was told that she'd left, and yeah, my dad treated my mum and my family. I have three older sisters, and we were all treated so badly by him. For example, if he got home from work in the evening and his meal wasn't on the table ready for him, he'd blow up and explode. Why is my meal not ready? Blah, blah, I used to go to bed at night and I'd hear him shouting at my mum through the floorboards.
Wow.
One of my sisters at one point tried to commit suicide because her boyfriend dumped her. She took a load of paracetamol or whatever that she had to end up in hospital having her stomach pumped out.
So what did you do to be able to get through this? I mean, how did you keep your positive, how did you keep your thoughts positive?
Yeah, basically, I was a lot of the time a bit of a loner, and I used to just basically go outside, play outside, go out into, because where I'm from originally, I'm from a small country town in England called Tring in Hertfordshire, which is about 30 miles north of London City. Very tiny little country town and very beautiful, lots of countryside around. When I was getting older, I used to go out into the countryside for long walks and just enjoy the peace of nature. When I was young, my dad used to take me fishing, so yeah, I used to get into that.
So just getting outside is really,
yeah.
I've noticed that myself.
That's the thing that kids nowadays don't even do. Back when I was growing up, we would be, during the school summer holiday time, we used to get 6 weeks off of school for the summer, and me and a couple of friends that from school and that we'd get on our bikes and we'd just go right out into the countryside, and and we had we were into we had a local railway station, and we used to sometimes go down there and watch the trains, and
getting out and enjoying life, really.
And we got to know the guys that worked on the local railway station, and yeah, we used to chill with them sometimes, during the day, or because sometimes they used to work late shift, which was like up until sort of like about midnight or whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, Kat, I've got a question for you. Still there?
Yes, I am. Sorry,
Okay,
I had the mute button.
Okay, so what he's kind of been talking about too is kind of just getting outside and getting some sun. I mean, I think even for myself, some sun is wonderful. It's like it's a free shot in the arm. Now granted, too much sun is not good. When you're like my kids in Texas, they're out there in that 100-degree weather and all that too. But just stepping outside just for a few minutes, it makes you feel a whole lot better.
Well, certainly, and it's a form of grounding. And what grounding does, this is the physics part of it, or electrical part. Negative ions are actually the ones that are good for your body and mind. They pull the positive toxins, which are the positive ions produced from electromagnetic frequencies, all the gadgets in your house, your phone, your computer, your router, all of that.
Everything.
And it's electromagnetic fog, smog, whatever you want to call it. So when you get out into nature, it binds the two together and removes it from your body. So sure, you feel better physically and spiritually and mentally more clear.
I mean, that's why they have these deionizers.
Yes.
Wow. And
Even a water fountain can help with that. Little one in your house or outside.
Yeah,
yeah,
do you know, saying that, where the town where I live now, there's a part where, even though we're in a built up town, there's one part where you go walk along the waterside, and there's like one area where there's a little like stream that runs through, and you've got the wind blowing through the trees, the leaves rustling, the little water stream bubbling away, and it makes you feel really at peace and at ease.
yeah. And the thing about magnetism too, magnetism is such a strong thing. This right
Oh yeah,
here,
yeah.
this right
I
here,
mean,
I like to show this to people. You know what this is right here? This is actually it's a magnet, but let me show you this. So it would rather attract than fall. And let me show you that. Okay. And you know what this magnet is? It's actually from a hard drive on a from a
oh,
computer from a
all
computer.
right.
So
Mm,
so I showed this to a friend of mine, Mark Fiorentino. He's big time into magnetism. So magnetism and negatives and positives that's what this universe is all about, right? So
mm,
and frequencies, and of course we know about frequencies, and all of the different frequencies and stuff. It's all about frequencies, magnetism, and they even use magnetism for healing too. They do that magnetism and get the toxins out of your blood, and they even do that here in Mineral Bluff in Georgia. My mom goes to see somebody who does that. It's called
mm,
PEMF.
mm.
um, and so there's all kinds of good things that help with that. And now I do have another question for you, Kat. Especially being in California, how does cannabis play into all of this?
Well, for myself, it doesn't, but for some family and friends, it's a big thing
Right.
for the healing properties that it produces. For
Mm-hmm.
myself, I don't feel I need anything like that. And I'm not, please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this from
Right.
an egotistic point of view.
Right. No.
I don't want something in my body that's not of me,
Mm-hmm.
from outside. And although I would love to try something a little more drastic, I'd like
Right.
it to be done under ceremonial conditions.
Right. Like ayahuasca.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry, like what?
Oh, like
Ayahuasca
ayahuasca
or
or ayahuasca.
DMT, mushrooms, anything like that. I would
Oh,
like to try that, but
mm,
only in a setting where it's for a spiritual purpose, not to get
Right.
high.
With a
right, right, yeah.
guide. With a
Mm.
guide. Yeah.
Yes.
Like with the Native American Indians and the peace pipes.
There you go.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Sandra just said that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it works. It worked for me tremendously when I was in Arkansas. I'd never smoked before, and then as soon as I got to Arkansas and got on medical, that helped me a lot with a lot of anxiety, a lot of just opening up my mind, and noticing things too. And I'd always had that before, but it was like amazing how it just totally changed a lot of things too. Just the way that I see things, and just the way that I can even it just kind of brings me down a little bit, where it opens me up a little bit more, kind of even like the binaural beats do, and other things do as well.
Yeah, I
um
mean, like, sorry to interrupt, Liz. I
I-
mean, yeah, yeah. I've smoked weed, and as I say, as you say, it does open your mind. It opens your third eye more. Um, it makes you sort of like more focused on communication. You um, and it also opens your mind to hearing different things, to visions, to communication, to basically the whole shooting match, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It, I'll relate a story to that. Yes, I'm a reverend, but yes, I'm human, and yes, I've smoked. and it wasn't that many years ago that I was with my cousin, and in our smoking and talking, and it got deep like this conversation. And
Mhm.
she, as she was talking, she's half Cherokee. I suddenly started seeing all these Native American faces
Oh,
superimposing themselves over her face. And then when I told her about it, it turned into laughing and giggling, the usual stuff.
right,
But for a while, I could see what you're saying. It did open us up to seeing other things and the other beings that are here with us.
right. Yeah. And that's something too that I think is just incredible. You know, you were talking about magic mushrooms. I definitely want to try them as well with a guide. I've got a friend of mine who said he also wants to try them, you know, with a guide
I,
as well.
I've never tried them either. It's something that I would, I must admit, I would like to
Yeah.
experience as well. I mean, you know, because these came from the age of. I mean, I unfortunately I was born a bit too late to enjoy the 60s. I was born 68, so I missed out.
Yeah. And I was born in '64, so I remember a little bit about it, but um, yeah, we missed all of that time of all the really the real hardcore stuff. We grew up in the time of just say no, and now we're kind of like, well, just say let's see what's going on with it because now everything else has been kind of like proven wrong, you know. But
Yeah,
and that's kind of a whole nother thing. Hey,
goes to
yeah, but hey, I'm gonna get ready to go. I think we've had a fantastic conversation. Kat, I want to
yeah.
thank you for joining us too. Do you have anything, any comments, Kat?
Well, yeah, because the question never really got answered at what you
Sure,
do
go
to
ahead.
stay
Go ahead.
positive. And I
Yeah,
think first off, it's your perception. And my
right.
sister and I were born and raised in the same house, and I didn't see it as negatively as she did. And we
Hmm.
have to remember that no matter what happens with us, life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. There's
Right.
always something to learn. And sometimes you just need to shift your perception a little bit. What was the
Yeah,
lesson in what just happened to me?
right. Yep.
Yeah, I
That's my
mean,
you know, my mom actually, she we said, Mom, you know, can we bring our dubage over? You know, she calls it dubage. Can we bring our dubage over? We're like, yeah. She's like, yeah, bring it over. We don't care. Like, all right. Like, yeah. You know, Mom, Mom, you're kind of cool now. It used to be, you know, but you know, but she's
do,
always been
do you
cool.
know, saying about that, um, before I smoked weed, I used to smoke the resin stuff
Hmm.
back in the day. And I was actually quite shocked because my mum actually stumbled upon my bedside cabinet in one of the drawers. I had a lump of stuff in there, and
Oh,
she happened to be cleaning, and yeah, she's like, I got home, and she's like, what's this? And I had to explain to myself
yeah.
to her what it was. And then, to my shock, or you know, I was like, she turned around and went, "Are you going to make one then?" I was like, "What? You want to try it?" I was like, Are you sure you want to try?" And she was like, "Yeah, why not?"
There you go. Yep. That's kind of my dad was like that too. And you know, so and that's what it just thinks society changes. Well, hey, I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody right now and give everybody Sunday back to them and Nigel.
I just wanted to say that you know, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Kat,
And you, Nigel, thank you.
and may peace, love, and light shine upon you.
Hey, and for those who are interested in those studies on those kind of
Yes.
interesting things, there's a group called MAPS, MAPS, like what you read to get to places, but it's maps.org. And they do studies on ketamine and ayahuasca, all these things to help improve your life to get over PTSD and such. And you
Oh,
can buy mushrooms in, let's see, legally here in California, in Oakland, and also up in Colorado now. There may be
oh,
more
thank you.
since then. It's just a couple years back when it was legalized. So I'll leave you with that.
Yes,
There's one question I wanted to ask, Kat, actually.
yeah, go ahead.
Right?
Have you witnessed or experienced any craft or beings or?
Yes, I have. And that would probably take more time than Les wants to give at the moment. So we can talk about that at another time.
Another time, yeah.
And I'll have my camera on next time.
Yeah, that sounds good. So let me. I'm going to show you this. So I did find maps, which is right
Good.
here. Join the. Yep, the psychedelic renaissance. Yep, very good. I'm very interested in that, and with all of the plants, especially that we have here in Georgia. Oh my gosh! And just in my backyard, there's so much we don't even know. I want to learn how to forage, and I think we've talked about this before. But I'm just so afraid that I'm not going to get it exactly right. I want somebody who can show me how to forage and say,
Yeah.
this is what you're looking for. This is what you got. I had somebody say, oh, you've got a sassafras tree in the backyard. And they're like, okay. And they're like, yeah, they make root beer with that. Like, oh, right on. And then you've also got a maple tree back here. And of course, you make maple syrup with that. Like, all right. And
all right.
yeah, we've got Derek here in Jacksonville. Thank you, Derek. Yeah. So there's so much stuff out here. The world has already been provided for us. We just need to use it, and
Exactly.
just need to, start scaling back a little bit and learning more about our surroundings. Okay. Well, hey, I'm going to boogie. I want to thank everybody for joining. Sandro from Belgium. Thank you, Dogman. Didn't get a chance to talk to you today. We'll do some paranormal stuff here too, some spirit talker stuff. It's been a little bit, and of course Derek too, and Kat, thank you so much once again. Had a great time yesterday. So all right, and then Nigel, thank you so much. And Nigel, you're such a friend, and we're so very thankful for you and Helmet and Ghosty.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for you guys, you and Claudette, Sebastian, Zeus. What a cute, yeah. Les has just got a new puppy, a husky pup called Zeus, black and white.
Yeah,
he's not even a year old. He's so cute.
Yeah. So all right, and then well, thank you.
And I nearly forgot to mention Barley and Pepe.
Okay. No. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, and thank you so much for joining, and we will talk to you later.
Yep.
Have a great weekend.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
And you. Bye.